Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Got a busy Thursday, NBA playoffs trudge on, got a big NHL game. We got a lot going on, and we got to start. We're going to let it ride. At least I am. You want to join in? Let's do it. Because, Dan, you hit your lacrosse play in miracle fashion. I said yesterday, I said yesterday, if you hit your lacrosse play, I'm doubling it up on our golf 5% play. That play
Let's
starts
go.
an hour from now. So I am committed on this one. Congrats on the miracle win.
WT.buzz/AL. Let's ladder it, Andy. Let's roll it on over because Lady Luck was on our side, man. But hey, as I said to you before it even went off, I was like, the lacrosse gods and the betting gods owe us. Because in the last few weeks, we had lost 4 plays after going on a crazy run. Of those 4 plays, we lost them by a combined 2 total points. So we were owed a little bit of some magic working our way, but we're happy it did. Cash for the clients, cash for us. We can roll it over on the golf play that's going in an hour. So if you're watching live, WT.buzz/AL, you can go grab that golf play. All access clients have it already, but we're taking those winnings and moving them on over. Andy, minute into the show, let's get into it here, man. Yesterday, we'll let the chat decide. We were talking.
Yeah,
we were talking about the Padres game, and we were saying, "Hey, we really like this over. It makes a heck of a lot of sense." And then, boom! About midway through the show, we had a pitching change. So, because the play was graded as a no play, Andy and I said, "Hey, we're still going to bet it again. And if we were to make an official play, we would make it on the Padres team total over." And Andy, that ends up cashing. So, do we call it 13-5 for the play of the days, or do we just stay at 12-5? The chat can decide. What do you guys think there? But Andy, as they decide, why don't we let them know? And if they say we're staying at 12-5, let's make it 13-5. We're going back to the association for the WagerTalk Today play of the day. That whether it's 13-5 or 12-5, you get it for free right here. All you got to do is like and subscribe. Where are we going, Andy?
Going to the Cavs and the Pistons, Max Strus, who's been really important for the Cavaliers in this series. He's started a couple games. He's come off the bench. Looks like he's coming off the bench today. I still love his 15.5 points, rebounds, and assists. One of the things is he's their best bench player. They've got some guys that come in and contribute, but he's the guy. And he had 26 points, rebounds, and assists the first game of the series. He had 20 and 23 in 2 regular season games that he played against Detroit. And he's getting a big workload, 25 minutes. And last game, he had 11 rebound chances. He had 3 potential assists. But what we're loving is the 13 shot attempts. He made 7 of them. He's hit 2+ 3-pointers the last 3 games. So when he comes off the bench, then when you come off the bench, you're going up against the other bench players. And we know that Detroit's defense is really, really good, but Strus comes in and he might be the best bench player coming in. Isaiah Stewart, maybe, Jenkins, maybe, but I got Strus over 15.5 points. This is going to make the client play. So Max Strus is going to be your play of the day.
Free client play right out of the gate. You love to see it, Andy. What else do we have coming here on the show today? Yanni is back, East Coast. Yanni the Greek joining us here. We're going to talk Steam Report. What is he seeing as he is up and grinding? He was saying, hey, typically, I wake up here in the morning, same time I do in Vegas, and I don't have anything to do because nobody's firing because it's 3 a.m. back on the other coast. What is Yanni seeing? NBA, NHL, MLB. We'll talk all that with him. Joe Ranieri, one of the stars of the best betting show ever, is joining us. He's going to talk Cavs, Pistons, Lakers, Thunder. He's also got an MLB best bet for you, Cardinals and Padres. Last time Joe was on here, he was talking about his 5%er, and then he cashed in on that. So seeing it well. We'll see if Joe can continue here on the show. But Andy, he's up and at him, man. I say we bring him in. Yanni the Greek. Yanni, you've already been professing your love off air of you miss being an East Coaster, right? You're pulling the newbie special where I was out west, moved back east, and I was like, other than the weather, man, hard to beat East Coast life, baby.
No, I love it, dude. It's 9 a.m. on the West Coast, so it's noon here already. And usually I'd have moved some stuff for the groups I work with and seen stuff in the accounts, but not had a lot of time to dig in myself. But that's not the case. I almost want to move now out on the East Coast because I've already fired 2 4% in the NBA, a 4% and a 3% in the NHL, and 3% in Major League Baseball. Like, my card is pretty much finished for Thursday's action. In fact, there's no reason to even put up a steam sheet because I'm going to be heading over to the arena in like 2 hours to tape my UFC show for Saturday's 328. So I won't be able to add a lot of stuff later on. And I'm like, no, these guys, when they get the steam sheet, it's because they want me to keep adding stuff throughout the day. So I'm not going to put it up there just to share some of the early stuff that I can do right here with you guys, because we already have NBA action, NHL action, and Major League Baseball already on the board today.
Well, let's get into Major League Baseball because we do have some day games. I have a client play in the 1 o'clock game. So what are you seeing in the early games?
All right, here's what we got so far in Major League Baseball. They bet 907 Texas over the Yankees, and they're betting that game over. I'm surprised it's not at 8 because I've seen multiple groups and public on the over. When it's not at 9, it's a little worrisome if you're betting that over. You would want to see 9 right now with the over heavily favored. Then 909 KC Cleveland over 8.5 up to -125. It's the public that's now betting that game over, and you're seeing it up to 9.5 with the over juiced. It's a lot of public money betting that one over. 911 Tampa Boston, same thing. Public's betting that over at like -115, 120. Did see some sharp money on the overnights, but that was at even money. Minnesota Washington. Sharps coming back with the under here. I passed on it yesterday. They were betting that under. They bet it late as well. As you know, both games have gone over so far, but they're coming right back with the under on Minnesota Washington, but they locked in at under 9.5 up to -125. May see 9.5s again because I think the public going to bet this one heavily over once again. It's an early game. If this was later, we'd have time for it to get back to that 9.5, at least at some of the square shops, but I don't think there's enough time for that to happen now. And then also the side 916 Minnesota and 908 is that San Diego, 906, forgive me, San Diego -150, -155. That's so far what we've got in Major League Baseball. Like you said, a lot of early action and a smaller board today, and always be cautious because when it comes to baseball, a lot of the overnights, it's getting out ahead of the market. And then, like I talked about since, 1st of April, you see some take back later on because, again, the scalps are sitting there and even some of the middles on these totals.
We got the Tampa Bay Rays, who are on a huge run, 24-12. That American League East, you get the Yankees at 25-12, the Rays 24-12, Braves sitting at 26-12, but they've got the Acuna injury to deal with. We got the Cubs at 25-12. Curious about power ratings you have at this point.
Neither the Yankees, Tampa Bay, or was the other team you mentioned was Atlanta, I believe.
The Braves at 26-12 and the Cubs at 25.
Of those 3 teams, Atlanta, New York Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays, neither of those 3 teams will win 60% of their games this year. None of them. All 3 will finish below 60% when the dust settles. In fact, I think Atlanta will be about 57% of their games. They should win. I think we have them winning about 92 games this year. New York, we have them winning about 95 games, so that's below 60%. And Tampa, we have them right below 90 games, right about 89.5 games. So right there, that's at like 55% as well. I know they're crushing it early, and we went through this last season with Detroit and some other teams on both sides of the spectrum, where some were winning only 15, 20% of their games. Others were winning 75, 80% of their games. Neither finished the season at that kind of win rate. We talked about it before. They'll be between, 40 and 55 between the last place team and the first place team. You will get some outliers that are close to that 60% range. But if 1 or 2 teams wins more than 60%, I'd be extremely surprised this year. As of right now, looking at our projections, we have only one team expected to win 60% of their games, this season, and that's the LA Dodgers, who we have them winning 102 games. Everyone else is below that 60% mark, with what's it called? Yankees second best at, like I said, about 95, 96 games.
Yeah, we've got, I'm looking at one book that's got the most regular season wins, the Dodgers at minus 105. I'm trying to find.
Dodgers are minus 105?
Yeah, for best record. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great bet. I mean, you got at least a 5-game cushion between them and the Yankees as far as what we think that the year will finish. I like it.
Yeah,
I'd like 120 on that.
Well, yeah, and it tells you, I mean, they're minus 200 to win 100 games. The Yankees are even money. So they're even telling you that the Dodgers should get to 100 wins. And if you think that, then
and real quickly, because I have Baltimore, Toronto, and Tampa all winning more than 80 games. But in the West, I only have one team winning more than 80, and that's San Diego at about 84 games. Everyone else, Arizona below 80, San Fran below 80, Colorado below 80. Those are a lot of division wins that'll pile up for the Dodgers.
Team with the worst record, Rockies, minus 155. I don't know. I wouldn't take that. I know they're not.
I wouldn't at 155. I wouldn't at 155 because I think the Angels are going to give them a run for their money. The Angels will probably be just like with the Yankees and the Dodgers. The Angels will be within 4 or 5 games of that last place Colorado team as well. We have Colorado winning 62 games and LA winning 66 games. So they're like within four games of each other for the basement. The Dodgers have a little bigger cushion, and that price is even worse. That's why I think that Dodgers price is really good at 105. That price is really, really good when you compare it to the last place team price.
Yeah, and it feels like every year there's that injury riddled team that the injury bug bites them and they throw in the towel and then they're sellers and then they go on a second half losing streak. So who knows what that team could be. So are we seeing any movement in NBA or NHL? I was looking hard to try and find an angle on this NHL game. It's just unfair what they're doing to the lines. Like if you want an under, you got to lay minus 150 for. You want Carolina, they're making you pay hefty for. This books, man. Are they doing anything with this game?
You want to go over 5, you got to lay 145 now. You want to go under 5.5, you got to lay 140. You're absolutely right. They've done such a good job of pricing this that I saw two-way action even on the side. And here's what I mean. Overnight, they bet Carolina minus 160. Okay. Then it went to as high as minus 180 in the overnights. And that's where I saw some take back on Philadelphia at plus 155, which is why it's sitting right where it's sitting right now. In between that. So you did see some sharp action on both sides, kind of like you'll see with the total. You'll see some over 5s. You'll see under 5.5s. Again, they're doing a good job as far as pricing this game because it's giving bettors like a tough choice. What do? Do you lay higher vig, to go over 5, or do you take the 5.5 over at plus money? Those are the decisions we're faced with as bettors. At least if you like, the over. Obviously, if you like the under, it's the same decision. Do you take plus money at under 5, or do you lay juice at under 5.5? Those are good problems to have. If you know where there's more value, those are decent problems to have with the ability to shop and more outs. I personally did bet the side and the total in that game tonight, and I like the hockey. I like tomorrow's hockey as well. We have 2 games tomorrow with Vegas, Anaheim evened up, and Buffalo, who I have a future, they got out 1-0 on Montreal. But that series, they're tough. Like Buffalo got to get past Montreal because those are very comparable teams. So I need Buffalo to get the W tomorrow, go up 2-0 in that series.
It's been a really good NHL playoffs for player props. There have been a lot of guys just hitting their mark every single time. So I've been enjoying the player props. We'll go over one later in the game, but let's talk a little NBA. If you see any line movement, you got one game that's really, really close and one that's expected to be another blowout. How are your accounts looking at this one?
Yeah, The only thing as far as the sharp bettors are on, they went over the 215 in the Cleveland game. But this is another spot where I would add it to the steam sheet. But the reason I don't have the steam sheet out is because later in the day, we may see some different action. And I've seen that a lot in the NBA playoffs, where I go back and then explain to them that it's either the same group working in the middle or a different group that disagrees and it's coming back, on the under after someone went over early. And that's what we saw here, where they went the over 215. But I maybe a case of getting out ahead of the public, because I've seen that a lot in the NBA playoffs so far. And that one is getting over money in Cleveland, Detroit from the public. They're betting that one over. They also took the points with the Lakers at 15.5. That's why you saw 15s. But you're getting Oklahoma City money, especially after they saw what the Spurs did last night. If these number one teams show up, they're capable of producing the blowout. And I think you'll get some Oklahoma City money. That's why you're getting 15.5s are back up there so far. As far as the total in that Lakers game, I've seen the under when it opened at 212.5. They bet it under, but at 210, I saw some over as well. Again, these lines are so tight this late in the season. I don't mean to confuse bettors, but you have to realize these groups that actually do win long-term and move these markets, they're betting numbers specifically. That's it. Like they're not, if it's not there, they're not betting it. They're not predicting the outcome and saying, we think the Lakers, they're going to keep it close. Let's take the points. No, it's power rating shows this. We want to get plus 15.5. We're betting plus 15.5. If it's 14.5, we're not betting it just because we think it's going to stay close. That's the difference in discipline between, recreational bettors and what those guys are doing. So like if the number's gone, it's gone. They're not going to mess with it. So it's going to, again, it'll be interesting to see later once the public gets involved, what they do. Because again, so far they haven't done all that well in these NBA playoffs. At least according to the books, they're having a pretty good profitable NBA playoff so far.
I just stuck to player props and it couldn't be working out better. So I
stick to what works.
Like you said, you're either laying the big number on the favorites or you're just taking the dog outright, like to pull the big upset. It's like there's like almost no reason to take the point.
Yeah, the point spread almost doesn't matter in most cases. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Let's go over UFC. You and I were talking about before the show. This is just a brutal, difficult card to try and come up with something. There's been a lot of line movement when, from compared to the very, very beginning when these lines started coming out, a week, 2 weeks ago. But I keep going back to the over on Chimaev and Strickland in the main event, leaning towards Van, but I can't quite get to the window there. The ones I keep coming back to are I like Pat Sabatini against Gomes. I mean, Pat Sabatini is a one-trick pony, but my God, what a trick it is. If he gets Gomes down, I think it's over. I also think there's a chance we could all be sitting here going, of course Grant Dawson was going to wash Rebecca. Of course he was going to get the takedown, but then you get the durability. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this card? This is a tough one.
A lot of striker grappler matchups in this one. It's who's going to be able to implement their will. I fired a 5%. We've got a good line. Definitely still enough EV available for 5% to fire. But you're right. This is a tough card from a betting perspective. I'll tell you this. Let me talk main event real quickly, because this is what I get it with a plus minus 600. There's really not too much to discuss, right? But for some reason there is in this matchup, because I see a lot of fans. They're always out in front of the hotel waiting to see fighters and stuff. They get disappointed when my car pulls up because, you're in tinted windows, so they don't know who's going to come out of the car. And they're all holding there with their cameras, waiting to take selfies or ask for autographs. And then I get out and they look a little disappointed that it's not a world champion. But, they get to talk who I think is going to win. And everybody wants to talk about main event for some reason. And I'm going to tell you this, don't waste your time. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm tired of all the nonsense I keep hearing this week about how Strickland is the best opponent to give Chimaev problems, that this is his toughest test to date, that Strickland's defensive wrestling is going to be a problem for Chimaev. Dude, I've heard that before. Stop the nonsense. Everybody going into the DDP fight was saying one thing: no one's going to be able to hold Duplessis down. No one's been able to control Duplessis. Even if he takes him down, Duplessis is going to jump right back up. Duplessis had faced 9 opponents up until that time. Yes, he'd been taken down, but over those 9 opponents, he was only controlled for a total of 5 minutes and 30 seconds over 9 fights. And yet against Chimaev, he got controlled for like 23 out of 25 minutes. You're talking about a different level of grappler, and Strickland just doesn't have one-punch knockout power to get his respect and stop Chimaev from taking him down and smashing. Like, to me, that's an easy bet. I just hope this line drops to where I could actually place a bet on Chimaev. Unfortunately, I can't send that to subscribers because my job's to protect them. And I don't want them. There's small room for error when you're laying minus 450s, 500s, 550s. There's no room for error, actually. I manage my risk correctly. So for me, if I see anything below that 550 range, I will bet Chimaev. I do think he wins this fight 9 out of 10 times. I think you need a black swan event for Strickland to actually win this fight. Let's not forget, prior to the Hernandez fight, Strickland would have been like plus 800 in this matchup, but he beats Hernandez and all of a sudden the narrative switches. That's why I love markets and betting so much. You see just how narratives change in an instant. But I know I went long on a minus 600, which you shouldn't have to, but trust the betting line, trust the odds makers. The way you look good is in this industry is to come out and say Strickland. I love Strickland. Like Andy, the rest of the week, just say Strickland. Strickland plus 400, Strickland plus 450. Because if he loses, no one's going to give a shit. He's not supposed to win. But if he wins, you get to use that over and over again. You can keep sending that out. You gave a plus 450, plus 500. But I just can't do it. I got to keep it real. And the truth is, I think Chimaev is actually discounted at anything less than that minus 550 range. So I do like Chimaev. I disagree with the Van Taira. I understand the Van respect and getting him at plus money. I get it. I had Van. He's made me money. But something just, I think Taira, man, he gets that back, or his grappling is just a different level. Finally, I did like Waldo Acosta-Cortez earlier. I thought that was closer to a coin flip. As the week's progressing, I'm not too sure anymore. Again, a guy that's on this kind of win streak, 3 straight KOs and that kind of plus money, sirens went off. So I'm kind of backing off that early lean on Cortez for anyone that heard me earlier in the week. But I do still think plus money on Buckley may be the way to go. We still got a couple days before the fights. And unfortunately, like you said, I'm here, so I'll get a lot of info. I see a lot of the managers and trainers that I talk to. So we'll see if I could lock in some more good positions for my guys between now and Saturday.
I won't be saying Strickland. I got Chimaev in a washing. So he also like had
you
cardio.
know what I'm saying? From an industry standpoint, you don't win anything by saying Chimaev. You know what I mean? By making a video saying Chimaev. But you say Strickland and it happens, you're a hero.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're kind of content creators, but I'd rather be right rather than get the clicks. So
yes, sir.
Yeah. So and also Chimaev has had horrible cardio and showed up and randomly had great cardio, which means we'll just say the diet may have had a little adjustment in his diet there, Yanni. So what do you have up for everyone today?
Yeah, I'm locked and loaded. I'm over these next couple of days. We're looking to do some damage. Usually do good when I'm away too. So hopefully that continues. I have the NBA package up. There's 2 4% in there. That'll probably be finalized within the next 60 minutes. I'm coming close trying to confirm a total, but I don't think I'm going to get there. I do have tonight's NHL game, a 4% on the total, a 3% on the side. And then subscribers got the Major League Baseball. Wasn't able to fire 4%, so didn't put a package together, but I did send out 3% in Major League Baseball. And like I said, I'm still going to be working a couple more hours before I got to get to the arena and tape our show for today. But yeah, I'll be back at it bright and early tomorrow. Well, actually not bright and early. It's more like afternoon for me now. But yeah, looking forward to the next couple of days. I'll be back tomorrow for WagerTalk Today, then last call on Saturday as well. So best of luck to everyone this next couple of days.
Thank you, Yanni. Appreciate the information and enjoy the event. take pictures.
Thanks.
I have heard, yeah, absolutely. I've heard ticket sales are a disaster for this event.
Oh,
It's
really?
just not. Yeah, they were talking about 40% of tickets have been sold this week, and our friend Jim, lives out there and has talked about it. It's a brutal arena to try and get to. It's in a terrible It's in a terrible neighborhood, and just like there's just not a lot of people excited to go to.
I mean,
see
it's
the
all of Newark is a terrible neighborhood. You know, it's just if you thought it's like, hey, if you thought New York City was bad, come to Newark. Planes falling out of the sky. It's just nobody wants to be in Newark. You know.
Let's see. We got 2 NBA plays that are up. We hit our NBA play last night. Let's go. So the 4% UFC plays are just bet a cash cow. So we're hitting over 65% of those. We got 4% and a 3% for up. That's packed. If you haven't gotten on the DraftKings, it's a DraftKings Live 2 or 5% play that starts in a half hour. Go ahead and grab that one. And we have a lot of specials. We have our 3-day special. We have our 30-day special. We have our 365-day special. So you want something short-term to get you through the weekend, we got you covered there with a nice discount down to $49. 30 days, you get 10 free days, $100 off, and the 1 year all-inclusive, just $99 a month. I mean, this thing is less than $1 a play for us in particular. You get all of our plays from all of our handicappers. Dan's got a 4% lacrosse play for Saturday that's going up, so all access clients will have access to that. So let's see here. We got to bring in Joe, because I'm going to start off Joe's segment with something that I didn't even prep you for.
Oh God!
Dan, but you Joe, you have to hear this. So
I'm ready.
All right. So yesterday, my wife and I went on a date, had a like mid-afternoon lunch, and then we went and saw Devil Wears Prada 2. It was great. Meryl Streep is just cooking like always, but they have 2 cameos that are really random, and one has to be the weirdest cameo I have ever seen in a movie. So Rory McIlroy does a cameo, which is kind of weird. But it was at a big fashion event in Europe. So I was like, okay, I bet this was like Rory McIlroy's wife wanted to go. So he goes. In a scene, out of nowhere, pops up Karl Anthony Towns acting in a scene with Meryl Streep.
Wow.
So you have Meryl Streep, an iconic, arguably the best actress of all time, doing a scene with a guy who can't stay out of foul trouble. It was the weirdest cameo I have ever seen. And after I was laughing in the theater, and after the movie, I was like explaining who Karl Anthony Towns is. And I was like, this guy, like, he'll just go through these stretches where he runs into people and he's in foul trouble. And then what does he do last night? He's on the bench because he's in foul trouble again. But it was the strange. If I gave you a million guesses who cameos,
would not
Karl Anthony Towns.
But if I'm not mistaken, I'm fairly certain. I don't know. Maybe you've seen, Dan. Meryl Streep's a big Knicks fan, is she not? I feel like I have seen her a lot at the Garden. So that would be the only reason I'd put those 2 together, Andy, is I believe she's like this really big Knicks fan too, as well.
Okay, that makes sense because I couldn't put it together.
Yeah,
I was
her
they share the same age.
And Anne Hathaway too. They're both there all the time. I'm pretty sure. Right? I was looking it up when Andy mentioned it, and it looks like Hathaway was the one who, like, she reached out to him, was like, "Please, will you be in our movie?" And then she was just like, "I'm getting paid all this money. I'm making it happen."
That makes sense because in the moment I was so confused, and
nobody would, unless you've watched Knick games on a consistent, like, you'd have no idea like that she was. There'd be no reason to put Karl Anthony Towns and Devil Wears Prada 2.
That's what I was about to say.
Anthony maybe, but Cat absolutely not. Like, no, I would not doing it. No.
Cam Newton with his hats. Yes,
Newton. I could see that. Yes, no.
Westbrook. Westbrook is into fashion. So anyway, all right. Well, we got a couple games that we got to break down. Let's do the NBA first, and then I'll let you and Dan talk Cardinals and Padres. But I want to get to these games. You got one with a big spread, one with a small one. Let's start with Eastern Conference, Cavs and Pistons. Pretty fun game. The first one, you got Detroit -3 over under 216. How do you see this game?
What I see this game is, anybody have any idea which version of the Cavaliers or Pistons shows up here? Because my goodness, I heard a really interesting stat the other day regarding, Donovan Mitchell, and ever since he was traded and came to the Cavs, he is not Mr. Win a road game. I mean, 4-12 on the road in the postseason with him on this team. Now you mix in the fact that you've got a James Harden who can't figure out what color jersey his own teammates are wearing, because all he does is continue to turn the ball over. In the postseason already, 80 turnovers for this Cavs team. It's been gross. But when they don't turn the ball over, well, they look like the Cavs that you think they're going to be. So this is a tough one because they have not been good on the road. And that's not just this season. It's dating back the last couple of seasons too. So, but the Pistons, do we really think they're getting 35 free throw attempts again? Just asking. Because my question is, if they don't go to the line 35 times, how many points are they really scoring in this game? And I think that's where I would go. I still think the ceiling for Cleveland's offense is much higher than what it is for the Detroit Pistons. I saw the Pistons team total at 109.5, 110. And I'm sorry, you're entirely too reliant on Cade Cunningham. Tobias Harris, yeah, right. Not counting on that showing up every night. I just think you take away those 35 free throws. I don't know that we're getting 110 or more points with Detroit here. So I lean towards their team total to the under here. There's just not a lot of options, or not a lot of ways they're going to score a ton of points here.
It makes sense. It makes all the sense in the world. And we move to a game with another team that can't score a lot of points. And this is this Lakers team that, I mean, this is just OKC waltzing into the Western Conference Finals. Yep. So, but this is why we have spreads. OKC minus 15.5, over under 210.5. What do you make of this game?
I mean, it's just going to be, listen, you had the 60-year-old LeBron was the only one who showed up for the Lakers here in game one. And I got to give them credit, the Lakers. Yes, they lost by 18. Yes, we laid the points with OKC. And yes, we ended up getting the cover in that game. But you wouldn't know it the next morning when you were reading the headlines and it's like feisty Lakers and feisty. You lost by almost 20 points. What is feisty about getting your ass whooped up and down the court? Like, I don't understand the feisty in the narrative. Well, here's a narrative for you. What happens if LeBron doesn't have a good night offensively? Exactly who are we supposed to look at on this Lakers team and be like, don't worry about it. They got you, LeBron. The points are Reeves, who would rather play anybody else right now than the Oklahoma City Thunder. Anybody else. He looks like a deer caught in the headlights against this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Hachimura, sure. He's going to have to play 40 minutes. He'll probably get 16, 17 points. Great. Congratulations. When you add it all up, Marcus Smart's not going to hit 7 threes. They have no secondary option. And to expect LeBron to rip out the oxygen tank and have some sort of 30, 40 point, it's not going to happen here. I think it's going to get worse before it might get a little bit better. I think fading the Lakers, again, it's a crazy number, but so was game one and they covered. I don't think it gets any better in game two. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if the Lakers actually don't make it to 100 points in this game.
You wouldn't really know it unless you watched, and I don't know why I watched the second half of OKC Lakers. I mean, it was torture. But the Thunder, I mean, you want to talk about taking the foot off the gas. It was just like going through the motions, like blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, like you know the meme of John Travolta in Pulp Fiction where he's like, looking around like that's LeBron. He's like, where's Luka? Like,
got nobody.
Where's Austin Reeves? Where are these young guys that are supposed to be carrying? I'm supposed to be the third option, and you guys are nowhere to be found.
Where are the points coming from? I just, I mean, Reeves is not He ain't going to get it done. Not against this Oklahoma. It's just a terrible matchup. Listen, they lost 4 games during the regular season without half of the OKC starters playing in the games by an average of 30 points. It's not a good matchup for this Lakers team, and it's not a good matchup for LeBron. Expecting LeBron to average 28, 30 points. It's not going to happen in this series. It'll be over before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, and
agree completely.
I mean, probably to the surprise of no one, though. You know what I mean? Like it's the Thunder and then everyone else. Yeah, you know. So congrats. You know, you get the opening series win, and now you move on, and now you're playing a real team, and look at what's happening. So yeah, it's surprise to no one. Joe, real quick before we talk MLB. I mean, NBA has just been a lifeblood for you and your clients here once the playoffs rolled around. 5-2 run you're on. Last time you were on, giving out a 5-percenter that you don't fire on often. You cash another one, man. So tell folks what they got, what they can expect partnering with you over these next few weeks, because it's been a nice run, man.
Was not scared off with the big number last night with San Antonio. So we got another 4% winner last night. I am locked in one of these games tonight with another 4% play. You can get up there. And we've already cashed 3 5-percenters in the postseason here, 3-0 there. We're on a 5-2 run. And listen, it's at this particular point, there is, believe it or not, there's a lot of value in spots in these games, a handful of games a night. But yes, just ask the betting public how much fun it was to not have Embiid play last night. And everyone ran to the window to back the New York Knicks and push them into double digits. Yeah, they didn't even cover the original number. So don't think this isn't the NFL. The markets are not, so tight that there isn't room here in the NBA. It's one of the best parts of the NBA postseason is that, yes, there is plenty of value on the board, even for a handful of games a night. And that will continue through the finals.
What, the Sixers played better without an injured Joel Embiid? That can't be. I would never believe that. See, I saw that, Joe, and I'm like, okay, give me more points without Embiid, who removed his appendix, a week ago. He gets hit in the knee twice. So,
that was the argument, though. The argument was, listen, Embiid. They were saying this during Boston, like this might be a better fit and a better matchup without Embiid on the court. And listen,
and in this series, I would argue that, to be honest.
You can't have Maxey playing 48 minutes and then go, wow, just that the legs weren't there in the fourth quarter. No kidding. You burned, like you didn't go to the bench. You buried the guy for 3 he never left the court. And then you're wondering why he didn't have the legs in the final 5 minutes when the game mattered the most. They led 3/4 of that game. It's a shame they weren't able to tie it up. It really was.
And just like you nailed it, Joe, they ran out of gas. You know what I mean? They look like a team that expended all that they possibly could to beat, the Celtics. And now you're going up against the team who matches up arguably even better than the Celtics did match up. So
and Nick
we'll
Nurse,
see. Can a miracle happen?
Is not walking through that door anytime soon to bail your horse crap coaching out of the water. Kawhi ain't going to be there like he was there in Toronto.
Yeah.
He's too busy cutting down trees with a tree company that don't exist. So I'm just saying, you better get it together, Nick Nurse.
So yes, if there was any confidence to be inspired for my Sixers, Joe just made sure we dashed that.
No, that was end of that.
Well, Joe, you were talking about how the Lakers they may be struggling to score this evening, but a team that certainly has not struggled to score is on the diamond, and that's the San Diego Padres. It was rough going to start the year, but after that, kind of change up by Stammen, I think it was Tuesday night before the Tuesday night game against the Giants. What have we seen? 15 total runs, back-to-back wins, and we've seen 20 hits, 4 multiple run innings. So this is a Padres offense that finally is finding their stride and is looking like what we expected maybe coming into the year. Now St. Louis, who's kind of trying to find their footing, has to, continue against this Padres team who is continuing a home stand here. Thoughts in this one, Joe, because the Padres look like they're about to be playing some of their best baseball. You think that continues?
Well, they have been for a while, but so have the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if there is nobody that has been outside, well, Tampa Bay, but the Cardinals are right there. I mean, nobody expected this season to be anything other than a growing year, right? Trying to reset that roster a little bit, get younger, get rid of the, some of those bloated contracts. And listen, I mean, Weatherholt's been phenomenal. Jordan Walker's been phenomenal. Herrera, Burleson, they've got Wynn has been great. These are guys that are, they're punching above their pay grade right now, and didn't work out yesterday, obviously. And I don't think it's going to work out here today. Liberatore has been decent, the lefty here for the Cards, but I don't like the Cards bullpen. I certainly like the Padres bullpen. It's a ballpark, Petco, that doesn't often get a ton of runs going on, but the Padres haven't hit lefties well this season. I think they're one of the 7th or 8th worst team against lefties right now. So they got to figure that out. But I don't think Liberatore, he doesn't miss enough bats for me to worry about the way the Padres are swinging, not to be able to score enough runs here. I mean, Michael King, he's still trying to work his way back here a little bit, but I still got to trust the home team in this spot. I think they have more ways to beat you. I get the better bullpen. I think we can get this to the bullpen. It's going to be advantage, Mason Miller and the Padres at all costs here. So at this price point, no problem backing the home team in this spot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Joe looking towards the Padres indeed. Joe, we mentioned what you have up, WT.buzz/JR. But what people need to do is go and watch yesterday. They should watch the best betting show every day. But yesterday, I mean, you got in the lab, Joe, and you made everybody's day at WagerTalk because the Three Sharps first single with the new lineup premiered, and you can see it at our Twitter page. You can find it on Instagram as well. But yes,
look at that.
Look at that. The three Sharps.
Look at the
There
three
they are,
Sharps, baby.
There
yes.
they are. So, Joe, how the hell did that come about? And guys, you can check out the show yesterday to see what we're talking about. A full-on music video that had us all freaking rolling, man. That and more is what people can expect on the best betting show.
Who knew that Art could rip on the guitar like that? I have
not even Art.
Not even Art knew that at all. We all knew Prez could be a total. But did not know that Art had the musical talent there. It was funny. Art had made a comment in a show last month about Prez was being his typical Prez self, made something about one of the female comments about Art in there, and Art, straight face, looks at the camera and goes, no, Prez, I'm a one-woman guy. And I mean, deadpan, he says, mostly because my girl watches this show every day religiously. So I just want you to know I'm a one-woman guy. And that was it. So from that point on, that was his new nickname. It's been his nickname. And we had to create a music video for Art, who is, in fact, now and will always be the one-woman guy here.
I love it. Rock on, Phil. Yep. If you loved sloppy parlay love with the morning wager guys, you're gonna love One Woman Man. Joe, we love it when you come on here, man. Best of luck. Keep that run going, man. And we'll talk to you again next week, brother. Thank you.
Peace, guys. Talk to you again.
Appreciate it. And if you want more Joe, if best betting show ever isn't enough for you, this Saturday, Joe's going to be hosting our last call show. So that's going to be Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Yanni's going to be on there. We're going to talk NHL. We're going to talk NBA. Joe will have some best bets as well. So Joe Ranieri going to be hosting this Saturday's last call. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you hit subscribe, folks.
I had to look it up. I figured I found out why Rory McIlroy was in Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, what did we find? What did the research say?
So last year he won the Players Championship, and they asked him what he did the night before his winning round on Sunday, and he said, "I watched the Devil Wears Prada." And the director was watching when Rory McIlroy did that interview and was like, "Oh, we got a fan." So they invited him and his wife to make an appearance. So the director happens to be watching some random interview with Rory McIlroy. I love stories like that. But those are great. Those are really great. So, all right, this was a tough all around the world today. So I was trying to come with a couple plays. So We're going to go to the Hurricanes and Flyers. These lines are so hammered home, and even the team totals are bullshit in this game. You want to take the Hurricanes over 2.5, it's -170. You want to take your Flyers under 2.5, it's -145. Like they're giving you nothing here. So I am looking at Taylor Hall over 0.5 point. He's had a point in first 2 games of the series, had a point in every playoff game. And I noticed Stan Coven, who's been really good to us, he did not have a point in the last game. So I wonder if his unsustainable streak has kind of come to an end, but I'll pivot over to Taylor Hall to have a point. And then there's a NASCAR race at Watkins Glen this weekend. AJ Allmendinger is a road course like phenom. He's not in a very good car, but I think there's weather coming in, and they may even have to move this race, the start time up. If they race in rain, they got to put rain tires on. AJ Allmendinger is going to be one of the best guys. The road course ringers are going to dominate. This is your Van Gisbergen, Zilich, and Allmendinger. So if it looks like there's going to be rain, this line is going to be -180 on Allmendinger in the top 10. So maybe a little sprinkle on Allmendinger to be in the top 10 on the road course. These are the courses that he thrives on. Again, his car's not very good, but if it rains, there is no good car, bad car. It is the rain tires and it's the driver. So those are a couple plays for everybody. Even the golf tournament, the PGA tournament got rained out to start. They just started. Everyone's playing. They're making everybody tee off and playing in groups of 3. So it's going to be a messy, muddy first round in the PGA event. So. Let's see here. I just to close out the 76ers. I watched it. I didn't realize it was this bad. The 76ers scored 33 points first quarter, 29 points the second quarter, 28 in the third, and then 12 in the fourth.
Yeah. No, and you saw it, like you saw the steam starting to roll out. You know what I mean? And then the Knicks, they're just a team that you have blood in the water, they're going to take advantage of it. Like they have killers on that team. You know what I mean? And to be fair, so did the Celtics. However, they lost one of their, like let's also not be completely agnostic of the fact that Jason Tatum didn't play in Game 7. You know what I mean? Like so much of Philadelphia was like, we finally did it. We got the Celtics monkey off your back. And here's what they don't understand. Because okay, I watch the Sixers, but I could care less if the Sixers win or lose. You know what I mean? Like I will bet against them the same that I'll bet them on. I do not care. But my thing is when you lose this series to the Knicks, or if you lose, but most likely when you lose, the Celtics series win. No one's going to talk about that in years to come. No one's going to talk about how Embiid finally got Game 7 off of his back and he beat the Celtics. It quite literally did not mean bupkis, because you're getting run out of the gym and you wasted, you have no legs left, so to speak. So, congrats. You beat the Celtics. Hang the banner. We beat the Celtics in the first round. There you go.
Well, that was the worst case scenario for an NBA team last night, was putting that many miles on the 76ers legs and not getting the win. The best case scenario was by far the Spurs. They get the win. It's dominant. And Wemby only played 26 minutes. He's going to be fresh for the next game. That's going to be a big one. Timberwolves might be in trouble. Ayu's clearly not healthy. He played 10 minutes, was 0 for 4 from the field. That's not going to work. Anthony Edwards played 24 minutes. He only got 12 points. So they didn't have one person from Minnesota score more than 12 points. That's a problem. That's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, just a bit.
So all right, that's going to do it for us. We got a big day of plays. We got that 5% golf play. We also still have the 4% cricket play that goes off late tonight. That's overseas. So we got some big plays going. We also have our double NBA pack that is up 4% cash last night, and we're looking for another big night in NBA. So, all right, thanks very much. Like button, and please. The winners from yesterday.
Oh yeah. So we asked people yesterday, hey, we've been kind of doing this. Hey, there's usually at least always one team or more that end up with double digits in the MLB. Andy started noticing that. So we said, hey, why don't we ask folks in the chat? So we asked you to comment below with your WagerTalk username. Let us know what MLB team you think was going to score double digits. And we had 2 winners because we had a couple different teams. We had Mark Martin. He called out the Mets. Well done. They reached those double digits. And then finally, the Dodgers went back to their Dodgers-like ways, and they cashed in for our man, Rob Christensen. So, folks, it's that easy. Always be commenting below. Typically, when you comment and include your WagerTalk username, you never know what you're going to win for here. So, congratulations to our 2 winners. That 3-day flex pass will be added to your page.
All right, let's do it again tomorrow, guys. Same time, same place. We're going to get you ready for the weekend. Got a big show for tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us. Good luck on your bets. We'll see everyone on Friday.